analyze the history of conflicts since 1945, we see in each of them the hand of our eternal enemy, the international Zionism. This ideology and the forces associated with it decided to turn Europe into a colony and Europeans into slaves. When we consider the phenomenon of mass immigration, any honest nationalist will easily see the correlation between the waves of so-called refugees and the wars initiated by Israel and its accomplice, the US government. The destruction of Iraq, Libya, Lebanon and Syria not only had international implications, but primarily resulted in the decimation of the Christian population in the Middle East. This is something that so-called Christian Zionists and the kosher right, who to us as much as enemy as the hate-filled maniacs in Tel Aviv, deliberately remain silent. The smear campaign against Iran and the aggression against that country have met with our condemnation from the very beginning. It is not Iran that poses a threat to the world peace, but two criminal organizations, the United States and Israel. In the less than 1 century, the old Zionism has achieved highly visible influence. Not only has seized Palestine and established its regime there, but it has also developed powerful centers of power throughout the world and in the political, economic and mass media spheres. The National Rebirth of Poland strongly opposes the Zionist movement because its actions it has horribly violated the rights of the Palestinian people. At the same time, its power in other countries fundamentally contradicts the right of nations to self-determination. The National Rebirth of Poland opposes the political, economic and territorial imperialism of Zionism. It affirms the right of every nation to live free from Zionist influence, direct or indirect. It also states that the Palestinian people must have full support in their efforts to fully reclaim their lost land. Eliminating the source of immigration is the matter of international policy. The simple outline is as follows. A terrorist organization called Israel, pursuing its goal of ethnic cleansing through genocide, provokes on the one hand a rage and rebellion against the murdered people. This is how Islamic terrorism is born. And the other fear that leads to flight to countries where children aren't shot like ducks and bombs aren't dropped on people's head. Turning off the immigration tap requires a final solution to the Israel issue. This will result in the return of many immigrants to their home countries. The rest should simply be sent home. Europe has enough problems of its own without having to shoulder the burden of extra European immigration, which understandably, when people of different cultures meet, always causes conflict. Racial conflicts don't exist where the distinctives of races and cultures is respected in their own countries and on their own continents. Everyone to their own place. This has been the position of national revolutionaries in Poland since 1981, when the National Rebirth of Poland was founded. First fighting underground against the communist regime, and after 1989 against the democratic liberal system. This was the position of François Duprat, one of our role models, whose iconic manifesto we were the only ones to publish in my homeland. Thanks to us, this position reached parliaments and politicians decided to promote it. Time will tell how sincere this is. We consistently convey to Poles during regular actions organized on the streets of Polish cities or in front of the Zionist embassy in Warsaw. It is worth mentioning that the system launched the machinery of repression as early in 1993 for our Palestine, the real Holocaust campaign. Because we desire to build a new world, we recognize that all nations and cultures that support the fundamental principles of third position must act and work together, based on mutual trust. The victory of national revolution in one part of the world is a victory for all supporters of the third position. It follows that every affiliate member must be prepared to provide moral, financial, or technical support whenever a revolutionary situation arises. Parochialism, in the age of when the ideology of united world strives for total victory, can only negate everything we believe, and it is rejected by us. Nationalism in 21st century is a long march, and we must prepare for this long march. When we began in 1981, during the totalitarian communism, we had no thought whatsoever about the end of this era. We simply did what had to be done. And although years later I can say that we haven't come as far as we had dreamed, we have gone much, much further than our enemies would have us believe. And we're marching on. Our fight, Anno Domini 2026, is continental in nature. That's why so important are cooperation between nationalists and the rejection of old prejudices and chauvinism. Hence our presence in Paris today among our European brothers and sisters. God is with us, so the final victory is ours. This is not an empty declaration, it's a promise. Long live Poland, long live France, long live our Europe free from Zionism. Ave Christus Rex. Merci beaucoup.